Welcome to the Local Content Studio, an AI-generated podcast sponsored by newmedialocal.com, an AI-powered digital media agency.
Welcome to Local Content Studio, the podcast for entrepreneurs, professionals, and business owners who want to grow their authority without burning out. I'm your host, Jordan Ellis. This show is brought to you by New Media Local, helping local experts become the most visible, trusted voices in their markets. Today, we're talking about something that keeps a lot of high-achieving professionals stuck: content marketing. Specifically, why attorneys, some of the most brilliant people in any room, are losing clients online to people who are far less qualified, and what to do about it. My guest is the founder of New Media Local and the author of the article Automated Expert Content: Overcoming Writer's Block for Busy Attorneys, Lorita Marie Kimble. Lorita, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jordan, thank you so much for having me. I'm pretty passionate about this topic, so I'm glad we're diving in.
Let's start right at the heart of it. You open the article with this line that really hit me. You say attorneys are losing market share, not because they're not the best lawyer, but because they're not consistently visible. Can you unpack that?
Absolutely. And I want to be clear, this isn't a knock on attorneys. It's actually the opposite. The lawyers I work with are incredibly skilled. Immigration attorneys, civil rights attorneys, social justice advocates. These are people who could talk for hours about case strategy, regulatory shifts, systemic injustice. The expertise is there in abundance. The problem is that the internet doesn't reward expertise, it rewards visibility. And when a potential client is searching online at 10 o'clock at night, trying to figure out if their family member can fight a deportation order, they're going to find whoever shows up. If that's not you, it's someone else, someone who may be less experienced, less careful, less qualified. But they posted last Tuesday, and you haven't posted since 2023.
That's a kind of a painful truth.
It is. And I built this system because I was tired of watching it happen. The market punishes silence, and the silence isn't coming from laziness, it's coming from a completely rational place. Every hour an attorney spends staring at a blank screen is an hour they could be billing, strengthening an asylum case, or pushing a civil rights matter forward. Traditional content creation forces an impossible choice between revenue and visibility. My whole mission is to eliminate that choice.
So let's talk about what traditional content creation actually looks like for a busy attorney, because I think people underestimate how heavy that lift is.
Right? And this is where I think a lot of marketing advice just completely misses the mark for legal professionals. Someone tells an attorney, you should do more thought leadership. And what does that actually mean in practice? It means find time to schedule a video shoot, find an editor, draft an article, revise it, run it past compliance, figure out how to post it, figure out how to promote it. By the time all of that is done, you've lost an afternoon and the will to ever do it again.
And then the ghost written option. Hiring someone to just write it for you, that doesn't quite solve it either, does it?
No. And this is the part that really gets me. When someone who has no access to your real stories, your real strategies, your lived experience writes a generic article called 10 Things to Know About Immigration Law in 2026, it sounds like everyone else. Your unique authority just disappears into the noise. The very thing that makes you valuable is invisible.
So what's the alternative you've built?
The shift I made was this. Instead of turning attorneys into writers or podcasters or on camera personalities, I turned them into what they already are: the expert witness to their own work. My system uses what I call an AI journalist model. You don't sit down to create content, you simply answer a few smart, targeted questions. The automated expert content engine does everything else: drafting, structuring, repurposing, and posting.
And how long does that actually take?
5 minutes. I mean that literally. 2 to 3 targeted questions. And I design those questions to pull out your best stories, your real opinions, your nuanced takes. Think of it like being deposed, but in a good way. Those answers feed into the system, which turns them into polished blog posts, short podcast style audio, social posts, even video scripts, all aligned with your practice areas.
5 minutes of input into a full week of content. That's a remarkable ratio.
That's the whole point. 5 minutes of your time becomes a week's worth of strategic content without you ever having to sit down to write.
You referenced something in the article called the authority proof framework. Can you walk us through that?
Sure, it comes down to three things: capture, transform, and amplify. Capture is where it starts. And this is the most important piece because this is where your real value lives. I use guided prompts and those 5 minute AI journalist interviews to capture how you actually think about your client's situations. Not statute text, not USCIS website copy. How you think about a client's fear of deportation. How you explain the risk of waiting to file. The quiet consequences no one talks about when a petition gets delayed. That's the gold. Transform is where the AI system takes that raw expertise and structures it into high quality articles, explainers, FAQs, and multimedia content. And critically, it keeps your voice, your tone, your preferred level of detail. The AI refines the structure, but the stories and opinions are yours.
That's the piece people are always worried about. Is it going to sound like a robot?
And that's exactly why starting from your own spoken answers matters so much. When you feed authentic, specific input into the system, the output is inherently yours. It sounds human and grounded because it is human and grounded, just shaped and optimized for publishing. Then Amplify is the distribution side: automated posting across your website, email list, and social platforms, formatted and scheduled so your thought leadership shows up consistently, even during trial weeks or heavy hearing calendars.
So it's working in the background while you're in court.
Exactly. Your online presence is building trust with future clients at the same moment you're serving current ones. That's the compounding effect I love. Consistency builds over time. You stop being one of many lawyers and start becoming the lawyer whose perspective people recognize, share, and refer.
I want to bring up a few of the practical concerns you address in the article because I think attorneys listening are probably thinking about them right now. Confidentiality, is this safe ethically?
Great question, and a completely legitimate concern. Everything in the system is designed to honor your ethical duties. You never need to disclose client identifying details. The prompts are crafted to focus on principles, patterns, and anonymized scenarios, the kinds of things you might discuss at a CLE or write about in a bar journal. And drafts can be reviewed for compliance before anything goes live. So, no, this doesn't put you in a compromised position.
And how does this integrate with an existing marketing strategy? Some firms already have someone handling their marketing.
It powers it. The content can be aligned with your current campaigns, your SEO targets, your intake goals, and handed off to your in house or external marketing team for seamless integration. It doesn't replace your marketing, it gives them fuel.
I love that framing.
And the bottom line is this: the barrier to consistent authority marketing isn't your knowledge. You have plenty of that. It's the old way of creating content. A 5 minute interview is all it takes to get started.
Lorita, this has been such a valuable conversation. Before I let you go, and for the attorney who's listening right now and thinking, okay, I want to see this in action, what's the next step?
Go to authorityproof.ai and book a brief demo. You'll experience the AI journalist workflow firsthand. You'll answer a few questions, and you'll watch how quickly your expertise turns into a library of content that works while you work for your clients. You've already earned your authority. It's time to make sure the market can actually see it.
Couldn't say it better. Lorita Marie Kimble, founder of New Media Local, thank you so much for being on Local Content Studio today.
Thank you, Jordan. This was a blast.
And thank you to our listeners. If this episode resonated with you, share it with an attorney you know who deserves more visibility. Local Content Studio is brought to you by New Media Local. Find them at www.newmedialocal.com. I'm Jordan Ellis, and we'll see you next time.